around. But it happened more than y'all think. Tsunamis happen like every day. It just when it's this far out from land, it die out before it hit the land. Everybody was looking like you made us wake up to go to to look for a tsunami, and it's not there.
I would have been mad. I would have been like, but I really wanted to see it. Damn it!
Oh, I was super mad. And then me being in first class, I was really looking out the window. I opened up the window, was looking, almost spilled my champagne.
Look, you balling over here.
We don't want to talk about it. It wasn't really balling. It was like more like, hey, we have an open seat in first class. Would you like to move up? And then, of course, in my head, I was like, moving on up. Because I was the only person. Because everybody else was like really groups and stuff. And then, like, of course, like, at first, they thought it was only one seat, but it turned out to be 2 empty seats. So I was like, hey, I was by myself in first class.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Was there a person sitting next to you originally?
No, it was an empty seat.
No, I mean, not in first class, but...
Yeah. And coach, I was definitely sitting next to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, were you squishing them?
No, nowhere close. If anything, it seemed like they was ready for, like, they was kind of giving me the prep, like, hey, you had a window seat, and I may be going to sleep on your shoulder. But if you get annoyed by it, wake me up. And I looked at him. I'm like, why are you telling me this right now? So I was kind of annoyed. And then literally they went to him first, and he's like, no, I'm okay here. And then they asked, because literally it was a outside seat, so I guess he figured, hey, if I'm already sitting on the outside, why do I want to move to another outside seat?
It's not me. I love window seats.
Yeah, I love window seat too. But me going to first class, I'm like, hey, if I go to first class, I've never been to first class, so I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know. All the flights I've ever flown on, I wasn't going to waste my money to get first class because it's not really first class.
I would do first class when I go to international. Not first class in America, not really.
Yeah, I mean, most of the planes I've been on were just pathetic planes.
No, Delta first class from going here to Japan is really worth it because you get your own like mini bed and stuff. And then like from Japan to Guam, it's not really worth it because you just only difference is they give you like the newspaper, you get like champagne and stuff.
Complimentary, right?
Yeah. Oh, I had to make sure everything was for free.
Right, because you end up getting off and they'd be like, you owe us $6,000. What the hell?
Oh, if they would have said that, I would have been like, no, I bought English.
I'm broke. Well, I guess you're going to be wiping down these toilets.
Come back here. No. Option A, you clean the toilets for 1 week straight. Because I was there for 4 weeks. So it was like either option A. It been like option A, you clean the toilet for 4 weeks, 1 week straight. Or option B, we cancel your trip back.
Oh, that would suck. Like, could you imagine if they had you into that kind of ultimatum?
Well, that's why I said that's why I'm like, hey, how much is this? Because she was like, hey, would you like champagne? I'm like, how much did that cost? And she was like, oh, it's on the house in first class. And she probably looked at me like, I could tell this is your first time in first class.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I really do want to fly first class, but I'm like you, until it's somewhere out of this country.
Now, I noticed internationally, it's worth it. But if you're going to be balling in America and do I would just do a private jet. Like, I feel like that's more balling than doing first class in America. Unless, like, you do frequent fire mileage, then it's probably worth it that way. But, you know, you never know. It could be worth it. And going, maybe for longer trips, like going to LA to New York, first class was worth it because you get more leg space and stuff. But going international is definitely worth it.
You know, at one point, I think it was American Airlines that did it, but they, you could spend like, or pay $1 million and you'd never have to buy an airplane ticket again.
I wonder how well that worked out.
Oh, they actually lost a shitload of money.
I could believe it because, I mean, a lot of millionaires would just pay $1 million to fly anywhere they want for the rest of their life.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. So, like, a majority of the people that actually bought it are now canceled. Like, they actually took it away and gave them their money back and said, don't come back.
Oh, I believe it because you got to think about it. Somebody like me, if I had $1 million just laying around just to buy a ticket, I would literally first thing to do, go internationally, fly everywhere I want, and then come back and be like, completely use it. Because you got to think about it. Yeah, a trip to Germany, it's like $2,000. But if I keep going to like different places, And plus, I'm pretty sure if I'm getting a flight anywhere, I'd be first class.
So yeah, it was first class.
So you'd be losing. Technically, American Airlines would be losing money, or I don't know which airlines it was.
I'm pretty sure it was American Airlines, but
I know Delta
went out really bad for them.
I know Delta would never do nothing like that.
Well, yeah, not after their mistake. Like, there was one of the first guys that bought it. He had a daughter who was going to college in, I believe it was the UK. And so, since he had that, I mean, he was some big business owner. So, I mean, that really didn't matter to him whenever he bought it. But he ended up flying over to UK every single weekend to see his daughter. And that's how they realized that they were losing money. Like, the first year alone, I forget what they said they lost.
Well, I believe it because, like, let's think about it. If you do $1 million, technically, it'd be $1 million. So, let's say each trip to England, because I know Germany is like 2,500 one way, maybe both ways, maybe 2,500. I don't know for sure. But so that's about each weekend. So that goes $10,000, and that's for that's only for 1 month. If you do times 10 months, that's $100,000 plus another 1,200.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they lost their ass. Like, there were people flying all over the world with these tickets.
And I could just imagine, let's say you go to that one place, you could go to another place, and then I'm pretty sure that you bumping other people out who paying top dollars.
Yeah, well, that was the other issue, is that since they had already basically just booked it, like, couldn't, and the problem is that, like, the people that had these had, like, priority.
Yeah.
So, and, like, it guaranteed you a seat pretty much.
Well, at least, I'm not even gonna lie, that's the best feeling in the world when you have priority, and then everybody look at you, and you look at them like, noobs.
Yeah, I mean, there for a while, whenever I was flying a lot, I made sure that I had got, like, their superior priority status, so, like, I could get on with first class.
Oh, I just know priority. I didn't know about that. I just, I used to have it because my brother, he worked for the airlines. I used to have, what's it called when you go on a wait thing? Like, just to make sure they have enough seats. That's not, if it's a seat not full, you go to the option where you could do that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the exact name is because I don't do that shit.
Standby.
I pick my seat.
Standby. I hate standby because standby, you don't get to pick your seat. If the airplane fill up, because if you don't know this, it's a trick to airlines. They oversell.
Yes, because a lot of people cancel or don't show up.
So typical flight is oversold first off. So if everybody come to their flight, then hey, they start offering people, hey, if anybody want a free trip, you just have to catch the next flight. Or you could be like that one guy, stay on, he got beat up and now he sued for, I forgot how much money he made, but I mean, you never catch the airline, that company again, you still get paid, so who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, then he was a doctor too, so he had a good lawyer.
Oh, for sure. Wasn't he actually, like, well, the reason why he was throwing a fit is because didn't he have a surgery or something to go to?
I forgot why, but I remember I think he was already delayed and he got moved to that flight. And then he was like having a long day or something.
I want to say for some reason that he did it, like, he actually had to be on that flight because, like, it was his last chance to get there to do a surgery for somebody who really needed it.
Oh, that's made it even worse.
Yeah, and I mean, he tried explaining that to him, and then they wouldn't listen. So, you know, as a doctor, I completely understand why he might have been a little bit upset about that.
I mean, I'd be a little more than a little bit upset because literally, if I get paid by the surgery, and y'all gonna make me miss this surgery when I was already, like, this is the last flight I have to take. Second off, I'm pretty sure you ask anybody, somebody would have came up and like, hey, I take that, take the free flight.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've never actually had this happen on a flight, so I have no idea. I mean, I read the stories, obviously, but I've never had it personally happen.
And from that story, that's how I figure out that flights is usually overbooked, or they overbook it because they know people gonna reschedule or cancel. But I also just start really flying before this COVID thing, and that's when I learned from people to arrive at the airport 2 hours before for internationally, and then an hour before for domestic flights.
I'll say most of them is longer than that. Most of them, well, I mean, I know they just changed it recently because nobody's really flying. unless you're going to a major city. But for the most part, I mean, it used to be 3 hours early.
No,
is what they recommended.
Well, when I went to a lot of places, they said 2 hours, but because I guess Atlanta would go pretty fast compared to anywhere else.
Yeah. But no, I'm pretty sure it was all over. They recommended 3 hours early.
Oh, like I said, I just learned this from people who fly. Like, I didn't actually listen to like what the airline said. I just learned it from people like, hey, if you don't want to sit there for a long time, go 2 hours because you're gonna get everything done. And if you got to park your car, they said come like a couple of hours earlier because parking your car is gonna be very difficult because now you have to look for a parking spot and you got to park in a area where parking your car is for per day, per month.
Yeah, well, most of those are usually really close to the terminal entrances. I mean, most airports do have the far away fields that you can take a bus in that are really cheap. But I never do that. I try to park as close as possible. I'd rather, because, by the time I'm done flying and coming back to get my car, I don't want to have to sit there for 30 minutes waiting to go to my car. I want to be able to get off my plane and in 15 to 20 minutes have my car and be out.
I'm super lazy. I'm just like you. I'd rather park super close to the airport than park super far. But I also did this one time when we did the thing to Guam. We parked at a hotel. I didn't ever know you could park at a hotel for a extended period in Atlanta. And then, of course, they keep the car there. But literally, you just catch a shuttle, and then you pay the hotel when you come back, and then you literally get your car.
Huh, that's pretty cool. But while we're talking about spending lots of money, apparently rapper Fontrell Antonio Baines of Memphis, Tennessee, also known online as Nuke Bizzle, decided he was going to post a YouTube video about him actually taking money from unemployment.
Ashley said he did the scamming. Like, first off, he's 31 years old, and you still rapping. That's a big problem right there. Like, in my head, like, you 31, you should start becoming a producer and stuff. I would just give up on my rap career to a certain extent. And then second off, to a certain extent, you learn not to snitch. And you just snitched on yourself by showing, like, in the video, he had him and his friends literally have envelopes saying they got the unemployment thing.
Yeah, so apparently they had managed to swindle $1.2 million. And they spent $704,000 of it. And if they didn't spend it, they at least withdrew it. And, I mean, they said that they found at least 92 cards so far. And whenever they arrested the rapper in Las Vegas, he had 6 or 9 cards on him.
He had 8 cards. So they first said they were going to file for identity theft because he had that many different names and cards. So they thought he was, like, of course, doing identity theft until they started looking more into it. And he made the video. Literally, he got arrested the day after he made the video and posted it.
Yeah, and that's just crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know. To me, that's just stupid. Like, I don't understand what would go through your mind. I mean, because now, I mean, like, his max that he can go to jail for it is 22 years. Like, what, you're going to go 22 years and you think people are still going to remember you? Like, you ain't going to be famous no more?
I mean, he wasn't famous before that, but hey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing is, like, to a certain extent, if you're going to do this, it's a reason why you don't tell nobody. You would just keep the money yourself and keep just withdrawing the money. And if anything, like, what made it a lot harder is, like, most people don't know what to do. Because if you get $1.2 million out, you can't just buy stuff. You have to clean the money. So how would you be able to clean $1.2 million?
I mean, I think that's why they withdrew a lot of it in cash, so that way they could just spend it wherever they wanted to.
I know that, but after a while, I mean, no offense to them, but their rap career wasn't taking off like that. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even heard of them. Like, I don't ever remember a single video or a single song.
Me either. So that's why I knew, like, it's gonna be a problem with them. First off, clearing $1.2 million. Second off, you got 92 cars, so sooner or later you gonna get caught anyway. And that's just what they found. They could have over like 200 cars to take off all that money.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what they found, but. This is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And, like, for them to, like, I wonder to have that much money, like, they had to have been doing it for a while.
Clearly, because I think the most you could withdraw is, like, I mean, I don't even know how can you withdraw that much money because you literally have to go to the bank and ask them